All right, everybody. Welcome on in. NorCal Sports Network. And, hey, Giants, lifeless. Kind of knew it was coming. Nationals are a much better team. Giants are really in a mess. They're dead. And I want to know from you guys tonight. It'll be just me. Dallas is on assignment tonight, and he's got business to take care of. And so Giants are so lifeless. But I want to hear from you guys tonight. I want to know why you root for this team this year. Are you rooting for this team to win going forward, or are you hoping for a 100-plus loss season? Let me know in the chat. I want to know if you're rooting for a 100-loss season or you're hoping they pull it back together and make it to 500. They're 14 under right now. I'm rooting for Eldridge too, NorCal. I'm absolutely rooting for just a few guys. I want to see a few guys do well. But Giants are awful. Absolutely awful. And you just hope they lose. Hope they lose. Wake up the city. You know what I like about this, guys? I've been saying rebuild for a long time, and now everybody else is talking about it. Everybody's starting to talk about it. Everybody's all talking about how good Casey Schmidt is. We were first, okay? We were first. We're talking about pick a lane. Now everybody's starting to say, man, they got to rebuild. And you still got the people hanging on to Devers. What is Devers? What was Devers tonight? Let's take a peek at Rafael Devers tonight as I pull up the box score here. Devers was 0 for 4 with another strikeout, down to 233. He's got 4 hits in the entire month of June. Here we are on June 9th. Arraez continues to hit, but the story seems to be Jung-Hoo Lee, who's up to 335. 2 for 5 tonight. At one point, he was 2 for 3 or 2 for 2, whatever he was. Eldridge, 2 for 3, 2 base on balls. He's hitting 300. And, those naysayers that want to call Bryce Eldridge a bust or a bum or the worst hitter on the Giants, look, I don't know what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get just, I don't even know how to say it, but I'll just say, come on. If you're not excited about Bryce Eldridge and Casey Schmidt on this team, Daniel Susac, those are the guys you have to just root for. Jonah Cox, he's going to be part of this future. He got a big triple tonight, but unfortunately he struck out on 3 pitches with the bases full and looked way overmatched. Casey Schmidt is in a rut, right? Well, he did get 2 hits last night, but 0 for 5 tonight with 2 strikeouts. He's going to come back to earth a little bit. He's not going to hit 290. Let's be real. He's not, I don't think he's going to be a 290 hitter, but I think he can be a 270 hitter, 260 to 270 hitter. I think Casey could fall in there. He's 278. Justin says he's never been more confident a player was going to make an out than Buddy Kennedy with the bases loaded. Yeah. Overmatched. Spring training is not the big leagues. I did miss some of the game tonight, so I missed Casey getting robbed, as Sowers says. So I know he just hits the ball hard a lot and gets robbed. But guys, I want to hear from you. What are you rooting for? Are you rooting for this club to win games going forward? Do you want to see them win 4 or 5 in a row and get to 9, 10 under and then fall back? Or do you want to just see them be completely 105 to the shortstop. Wow. Do you guys want to see them just become completely inept and just like embarrassed and become a national embarrassment? Isn't that the goal? Isn't that the goal at this point in the season, to become a national embarrassment so that they're forced to do something? Don't you want to see some exciting young prospects come to San Francisco? Don't you want to see trades like Logan Webb being traded and Arraez and hopefully Chapman and Devers and Adames? Don't you want to see these ownership get very creative and bust this thing wide open, like a major reconstruction of the roster? You're rooting for progress and building for the next years. Okay. Where's the progress going to come, though, if you got 3 dead weights on your team and Chapman, Adames, and Devers? Look, is Devers that good? Is he a name? Is Rafi Devers really that good? Because I sure haven't seen it much. I've seen flashes of brilliance where he hits the ball, but I mean, my gosh, the guy strikes out 31% of the time in his career in the Giants, and he struck out in the month of June 40% of the time. I agree, Senior. Devers is a bum. I think he's a bum. That's why I get on him. He's got his paycheck. Why do you want this guy around? He's done nothing but they're 24 games under 500 since Rafi Devers put a Giants uniform on. And you know what? Rafi Devers hasn't missed one of those games. He's not contributing to winning baseball. Neither is Matt Chapman. Neither is Willie Adames. Neither is Logan Webb. Logan Webb pitched his heart out last night, and I'm not saying he's not contributing to winning baseball, but he can't help. He can't carry the team and hit, too. I mean, he's the last pitcher to hit a home run. Maybe he needs to get up there and hit for these guys, too. Dallas is not here tonight. He won't be here tonight. Exactly, NorCal. I mean, do we all remember the 1986 San Francisco Giants losing, or the 1985 Giants, I should say? Wasn't that the last time the Giants lost 100 games in San Francisco? The only time? Let me look. I think they lost 100 games. 1985 San Francisco Giants record was 62-100. The only time that the Giants lost 100 in their history as San Francisco. Now, what did that bring, though? That brought us Will Clark, the number 2 pick, Robbie Thompson. It brought us Roger Craig and Hum Baby. And the Giants actually became, from 1986 to 2004, a relevant franchise. Okay? They were one of the best teams in baseball in the late 90s going into this century, 2000, 2001, 2002. They were known for hitting. I mean, they had Mitchell in the 80s and Clark and Bonds on that 93 team. And then, Jeff Kent and Bonds and Burks and JT Snow and Rich Aurelia. And they were good. They were a good team to watch. And then came 05 and they started to fall down, right? But what were they doing at that time during 05, 06, 07, 08? Drafting and developing their guys. I mean, it was Kane drafted, I think, in 02, 03, somewhere in there. And then, then it comes up and it's Lincecum and it's Buster and it's Mad Bum and it's Crawford, and then international signings of Sandoval, and then it's Panic and Belt, and the whole infield was loaded with homegrown guys. And that's where the Giants, you can see it coming again. It's Gonzalez and Hernandez and Colleen, maybe we'll see how he does, but Johnny Level, and you got guys that are coming. So why not put everybody into the same timeline? Why do you want to run it back next year with Adames and Chapman and Devers? They're just stifling the team. Get rid of them. Go young. So what if you lose? Look, they're going to lose 90-plus games with all these veterans, right? I mean, you got Arraez, you got Lee hitting 325, 335, whatever. Both of these guys. You got Devers and Adames and Chapman and Webb with big contracts. And then, why do you want to carry those guys around you when they're not helping you win? Tell me. I want to know out there, you listening, you watching, because people come at me all the time. Why do you want to sell, Dan? Why do you want to rebuild? Well, how's it working for you? How is it working for you with these guys on your team? You say, but yeah, we can't sell these guys. We can't get rid of them. They got no trade clauses. They got such big contracts. You know what? Cut their asses. Eat the money. They're not helping you. But you don't even have to do that. You don't have to do that. You can find a taker. You can be creative. Put me in the dang front office. I'll find a way to get rid of those guys. I guarantee it. I'll be on the phone with every contender, and I will find their weakness. I will find their breaking point. I will find their need for a Matt Chapman to shore up their defense to get to a World Series. I will find that team that needs a Willie Adames or a Rafi Devers, and I will, if I've got to pay 60% of their contracts, and then I end up paying rookies the minimum league salary, I'm still saving a ton of money. And then in a few years, they're all gone off my books. Yeah, I might have to carry Devers a little longer on my books, but who cares? You're filled with money, the Giants. And while you're getting better, you're not paying out absorbent contracts. You'll probably, if there's a salary cap, you'll probably be one of those at the floor. If it's 150 million, you'll be at the floor. Yeah, the casuals are the worst. The casuals drive me nuts. The casuals that just show up to the ballpark and go on the road all over the place, follow these guys. Yeah. If I had to keep one of the three, who would it be? Devers, Chapman, Adames. I hate to say it, but it's probably Devers, just because he has the most upside. Chapman's on the decline. I'm sorry. He's on the decline. He's still a good player. I have nothing personally against Matt Chapman. I actually think he's probably a pretty good guy, and nothing. I wish Chapman well. I really do. I don't have anything against any of these guys personally. This is nothing personal. I don't wish harm on them. I don't wish ill will. I wish them well. But I don't know. I don't know if Chapman, maybe Chapman's the guy to keep. Devers is tough to keep in some ways because he's got the longest contract and you're tied to him for my goodness, 7 more years of this. And is Rafi Devers really 29? I don't know. He may be. He plays like he's 35 though. Look at all the guys that are getting washed up that aren't hitting worth a darn. It's guys like Mookie Betts and Manny Machado and guys hitting under 200, and they're in their 30s. How does a kid that's 29, right in the prime of his career, look like he's toast? Maybe he is the guy to get rid of. Maybe Chapman is the guy you hang on to just because he's only got 4 years left. And the other guy's got 5 and 7 after this. Maybe you unload those guys and Chapman just becomes kind of the senior spokesperson. And, I don't know. Yeah, I just mentioned Machado's decline instant. Yeah, I've seen it. Believe me, I know it well. He's on my fantasy baseball team, one of them. He's dragging it down. Newbie says, I want to rebuild. Traded Arraez, trade Chapman. What's he kind of hitting in you? While he's kind of hitting and like you said, pay part of his salary. And Adames endeavors. It can be done, guys. I don't want to hear this bull crap that it cannot be done, that they can't get rid of Chapman and Devers and Adames. You can do whatever you want to do. You can do what you want to do. No, Sour Shoes, you don't want Machado's contract. That is bad. You think Chapman's contract's bad. Machado's is way worse. Johnny, we know they won't get rid of them all at once, but that's why they don't think outside the box, and that's why this is a losing organization. Dan, why is Buster only saying they can't? What is Buster saying? They can't what? They can't get rid of all these guys, or they can? I don't know. I think you can if you're creative and you're willing to eat part of the money. As long as you're getting prospects back that are good prospects that can help you in a year or two, why not? I mean, we know Devers isn't going to help this team win. Okay? He's not a true leader. Hey, look, I know they're not going to eat the money, but they're a losing organization. They are losers. This is a losing dumpster fire. This is a clown organization, okay? It's a clown organization, and it's run by clowns at the top. You know, Larry Bear is a big clown. You know, Greg Johnson, he could give a crap about the team. It's all about money. His dad is, you know, he's a got a handout from his dad. So Greg Johnson, he's only in charge because was he like the, I don't know, wasn't he the son-in-law of one of the previous owners too or something? I'm not sure. I just know it's a clown show. It's not real baseball. They don't have baseball people running it. And I'm sorry, Buster Posey, you're a great player, but you don't know what you're doing as a front office guy, it appears. Maybe you do. Let's see if you're playing chess while everybody else thinks you're playing checkers. Let's see. Let's see what you do at the deadline. Do you have any moves up your sleeve to get rid of some of these horrible contracts that you're solely responsible for? And did you not sign anybody to go in the bullpen because you really wanted to tear this team down secretly and you want to make it look as bad as possible so that you can move off of all these contracts? Is that why you didn't sign bullpen guys? If that's why you didn't, hey, then amen to you. But if you didn't sign these bullpen guys because you wanted to win and you thought you had the team to win and you're not going to move off of all these ridiculous contracts, then you're not fit for the job. And as far as I'm concerned, Buster Posey has less than 2 months to prove himself. Less than 2 months. The trade deadline's August 3rd. We're sitting here at June 9th. Let's see what Buster Posey does on this job. You know, again, nothing personal. I love Buster Posey. Again, I've said it 100,000 times. My dog's named after Buster Posey. And I got the greatest dog in the world. So he's fantastic. And I just want to see a winning organization that does things right. And this team is putting it's like patchwork. Oh, there's a dam that's broken. Let's get the sandbags, patch that thing up, and then boom, we patch that up, and then we find another hole and they try and patch it instead of just saying, you know what, let's build a new dam or whatever. Just let the whole thing go, and you know what, nobody's going to care if Chapman and Adames and Devers are not on this team. Trust me, Nobody's going to give a crap. Maybe the casuals will flip out and talk about, oh, we got to have Devers and Chapman and Adames. We can't let those guys go. Look, Breslow and Posey failed preschool. I like that. Yeah. So I'd have a call-in show. Somebody says, have a call-in show. You know what? I want different people if I do a call-in show. I don't want the same people to come in. I want to hear different people's voices. Who in the chat is different that would like to come in tonight? Tell me if you've been on the show before. Let's give somebody else a shot. I really want to hear from some of the other people. Not everybody wants to come on. I get it. So Insane says he's got to go. There we go. I'll take care, Insane. Hey guys, while we're here, Farhan did things right. Dan Hunt says couldn't critique him while he's making moves every other day. The thing about Farhan that was bad is he just was afraid to trade guys when he should have traded them. He was afraid to pull the trigger, but he actually did some decent things by, getting some decent players and drafting some decent guys and stuff like that. Robbie Ray's another one that's got to go. But Farhan did a few things right, but I give him credit for, some of the signings, but I can't give him credit for the way he ran these guys in here that were nobodies constantly. Couldn't handle that. Johnny says you'd extend Arraez. You're just going to block somebody unless you're going to make him the DH and you're going to get rid of Devers. You can't block Eldridge. You got to make a spot for Eldridge, and you can't block all these infielders that are ready to come up that are young. But he's always tradable. Arraez is going to hit you 300 plus, and he's going to be able to do that in his sleep. So signing him's not a horrible thing, but what are you going to do? Make Casey a left fielder, your full-time left fielder now? If you got Chapman at third and you got Eldridge at first, you got to figure a way what you're going to do. You got to put together a plan and decide, how do you want this team to look? Do you want it to look full of has-beens, or do you want it to be young and aggressive? There's a lot of good ball players out there. Look at the White Sox. People say, well, the White Sox were horrible for years. Look at their rebuild. It just started. They didn't take long to do a rebuild. They just decided to sell off a Crochet. They got this kid, Braden Montgomery from Boston. They got the catcher, drawing a blank on the catcher's name. And then they got Meredith. The catcher's been hurt all year. He was in the WBC, pulled a hammy. Drawing a blank on his name. It'll come to me. Kyle Teal. Thank you, RK Snow. Kyle Teal. Yeah. But this kid, Braden Montgomery, comes up tonight and hits a walk-off home run against Raisel Iglesias of the Atlanta Braves. And, his first game gets called up. He's a masher, gets 2 hits. Look at what the White Sox are doing. The White Sox are, much more exciting to watch than the Giants. Giants beat them 2-3 here, but the White Sox are going places. The Giants, think about this, guys. The Giants are 27-41. 27-41. Yeah, first blown save of the season. I know. I had Iglesias on my fantasy team. I also had picked up the kid Braden Montgomery today, and he hits a home run for me. So I kind of win by I get some points for the home run, but I lose points on the walk-off homer. Iglesias cost me a little bit. So let's see. Well, I'm looking here at the chat. George says, how does he block? Well, you got Gavin Killeen. What are you going to do with Gavin Killeen if you got Willie Adames on the team, George? He's probably going to be ready to go next year or the year after. Remember, these college kids are coming up and they're playing in the big leagues 2 years after they're drafted. Some of the high school guys are playing 2 years after they drafted. Gavin Killeen is right now at, I believe he's at Eugene. He's your number one draft pick. What are you going to do with him? If you're going to rebuild, what are you going to do? Just block him too, like they block everybody else? Yeah, I'm with Philip. I think Arraez is gone, and I think you just trade him while he's hot. Look, he might get the contract and regress. You don't know. Right now, he looks good. Johnny's fears that they'll lose the trade, this front office. Well, it's hard to say. Parks Harbor looks like he's going to be a pretty good hitter for the Giants. They got him in the Duvall trade. They got a couple of pitchers out of that deal, and they ended up getting a couple of guys from the Mets, Drew Gilbert, whether he's a full-time big leaguer or just a, fourth outfielder remains to be seen. Probably more of a bench piece, Drew Gilbert, than anything. It's tough. Baseball guys don't always develop right away, Some of these guys, they develop, in their third or fourth year. All of a sudden they start figuring out. Look at Jung-Hoo Lee. He's in his third year. Looks like he's figured it out, doesn't it? Took him time to adjust. Now he's one of the better hitters for average at contact in baseball. I don't know. I think if you get the right type of person in here, you can figure out pieces that complement. If you're going to keep Chapman and Adames and Devers, you got to figure a way to get other guys around these guys. You're going to just have to figure it out. I don't know, guys. Yeah, they needed a starter and a reliever. They didn't get it. They went cheap. Can I get Keith Law? That would be a tough one. I should try, though. George Curry says, you can trade Gavin Killeen. He is in high A, batting 280, really. Well, he is their number one pick. What are they going to do with him? Guys develop at certain paces. I don't know. I wouldn't sign Arraez to a 4-year deal. They might, knowing Buster, sign him with a no trade clause. That's going to be the new thing. Give me the no trade clause. Let's have a defense or an infield with all no trade clauses. I'm in total agreement with Philip. He gets it. He's effing sick of half measures. Pick a lane. If they think they picked a lane, then it didn't work. Either way, they need to start over, and that's okay. It would be a breath of fresh air. Yeah. Do you guys agree with this? I mean, rebuilds can be very, very exciting. You get to see really good young prospects, especially if they have speed and athleticism. This team is just boring. They have like 16 or 18 stolen bases on the whole season. Do you guys know that Josh Naylor, one of the slowest dudes in baseball, has like 12 stolen bases? Look it up. The Giants just don't even know how to steal bases. What's wrong with this team? How do you not steal bases, Jung-Hoo Lee? It's just really hard. Yeah, fans will definitely come out for a young team. The true fans. The problem is a lot of the true fans were the candlestick fans. And some are getting a lot older, but the candlestick fans were diehards. This is the milquetoast fans that come to today's games. Not all of them. I'm just saying some. Yeah, Tibbs. Braden Montgomery got picked one pick before Tibbs. Yeah, and Boston had them both. Boston had them both. But, Tibbs is looks like he's going to be a good player. Yeah, I don't know, guys. It's so hard to come on here night after night and just say the same thing. Well, I want to hear from people in the chat, though. Who in the chat says this team has the horses? They just need to regroup and get better pitching and relievers, starters, keep everything the same, and they'll be fine next year. Who in the chat believes that? That's who I want to hear from. I want to hear from the people. I know Robert Rothberg's out there, and that's his mindset. I mean, I think if we brought up the San Jose Giants and just had them put San Francisco Giants uniforms on, Robert would believe they're World Series bound because they had the Giants uniform on. I want to know who likes the direction this team and just thinks they need to regroup and get better pitching next year. Nobody's saying anything yet. Johnny says if they got 4 or 5 pin arms, 2 starters that aren't Molly or Hauser, I think I'd be convinced. So you'd want to run it back with this same offensive group of Chapman, Adames, and Devers, guys that seem to rarely come through in the clutch? You can't just stick with this team, Johnny. Look, if they get good pitching, these guys don't hit. Don't you remember in the beginning of the year they were scoring 1 and 2 runs for the whole month of April? They're going to go back to that, guys. They're already doing it. What did they get last night? What was last night's score? Tonight, they got 3 runs. Last night, they got 3 runs. Look, they're home. Dan, can you put the chat song on? We'll see. I mean, they can't score with this team consistently. Yeah, you go on the road. Look at the ballparks that they were playing in. Where'd they put up the big runs? Colorado and Chicago when the wind was blowing out. What did they do when the wind was blowing in? 1 or 2 runs, right? Yeah, they scored 19 in Colorado and 18 in Chicago. Milwaukee's a great hitter's park. They can't hit in Oracle Park. This team can't put up consistently 4 runs a game in Oracle Park. George says Chapman has been clutch. He's hitting 400 with runners in scoring position. Devers needs to definitely sack up. Same with Adames. We need a big-time center fielder that gives a high ceiling like Eldridge. Well, I'll say this, George. Chapman's done well the last couple of weeks, and it's nice to see it. He's coming through, and and good for him. But we know this is a streak. It's not going to last. It's not going to last. He will go back into strikeout mode at some point before July, or maybe finishes the month of June. He has a decent June, but July rolls around. It's just going to be the exact opposite. That's what he does. That's his career. Don't tell me he's hitting 251 when I know he's going to hit 240 when it's all said and done. That's who he is. He's been fairly consistent, but the home runs are down. He's only got 4. Look, Chapman, is he your biggest problem? No. The fact that he's blocking Casey Schmidt from playing third base, and, then you might want to sign Arraez. But if you're going to sign Arraez and keep Chapman, what are you going to do? Make Casey the left fielder? You see that catch he made tonight where he fell over? He's not. It's a work in progress out there. But yeah, exactly, Jay Ken. Chapman's numbers are entirely due to his recent hot streak. He was dog shit up until 2 weeks ago. Pretty much, yeah. We'll see what they do. I don't know how this team's going to do it. But, put Casey at third permanently. Dan, I love your channel. Can I come in? Well, there's a new person. Let's hope that's a new person. You know what? I'm for newbies coming on in that love the channel. I'm not going to go long tonight. I just get tired of saying the same thing over and over again. So I'm going to put the chat in there. If I see people that have been on the show before in the green room, I'm just not going to have you come on, okay? Nothing personal. I just want to keep it short tonight. Hold on here. Why am I not getting I'm trying to copy and paste here. Come on. Copy and paste. Why is it not? It's not letting me. Come on. Am I in the chat? Trying, guys. Trying to post it. It's not letting me. Come on. Copy, paste. Well, if I see it, that's who it is. I'm not going to have them come in onto the show. I'm not going to be fooled by. For some reason, the copy and paste is not working. Let's try it again. Copy. Oh, because I was doing it in the wrong place like an idiot. Okay. All right. There's the link. Again, if I see somebody in the green room that I recognize you, it's nothing personal. I'm looking for new people on the show tonight that have never been on. And then, yeah. And we'll keep it short tonight. So, hey, by the way, while we're doing this, let's give us a shout out to PrizePicks. PrizePicks is a daily fantasy app. We want to give a shout out to them, our sponsor. Let me pull up their logo here on the screen and use that promo code NCSN. PrizePicks daily fantasy app where you build lineups by choosing whether players will have more or less than a projected stat total. And right now, new users can get $50 in lineups when you play their first $5. That's right. You play $5. PrizePicks is putting $50 right into your account to play with. You're playing with house money. You've heard the term house money. That's house money right there, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. It's PrizePicks available in all 50 states. Download the PrizePicks app today or go to the link in this description. Put in the promo code NCSN. Follow along while watching the games. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Make sure you use that promo code right there, NCSN. NCSN. Okay? Plug in that promo code. Have fun. Enjoy. Also want to give a shout out to Chapman Law Group, our longtime sponsor. Chapman Law Group, located in Marin, licensed in all of California. Give Chapman Law Group a call at 415-613-9483. Chapman Law Group. You got a personal injury situation, make sure you give them a call. Call's free, consultation's free. Don't settle with an insurance company without reaching out to Chapman Law Group. All right. Links out there. Anybody wants to jump in? Nobody's jumped in. I'm assuming the people who said they wanted to come in maybe were the same people that just changed their name. I don't know. See a little Vita Blue, number 14. Also a little, didn't he wear number 35 as well? Vita Blue. How'd you like those old Oakland A's uniforms that had the sleeveless? They were sleeveless and they wore a yellow uniform and they would have a green T-shirt underneath. And they were almost like a basketball jersey, pretty cool looking. I'll see if I can pull up an old photo of a I love Vita Blue. Let me see if I can find Vita Blue. There he is. Yeah, he was number 35. Right there, what I'm talking about. Right there, what I'm talking about. The yellow jerseys with the green sleeves. Pretty cool looking, won't you say? Number 35, Vita Blue. I think he wore 14 with the Giants. I love those uniforms. I love watching Vita pitch, man. Look at those cool A's uniforms, man. Look at that one, Sports Illustrated. Vita Blue. You know, we can find him here in a Giants uniform, I'm sure. Lots of A's, but let's find him in the Giants uniform. Come on, Vita. There he is, number 14. That's right. He was 14 with the Giants. Vita Blue. Had that great voice. Yeah. Yeah, those were cool jerseys, man. Those were cool jerseys. All right, guys. Look, do the Giants avoid a sweep tomorrow? Robbie Ray on the hill tomorrow. And they're going to be facing, that's a 12:45 game. Griffin, a left-handed pitcher. Griffin, what has he done? Yeah, he's not bad. He's 7-2. He's got a 3.63 ERA, 69 Ks in 72 innings, almost a K per inning. Decent whip, 1.10. Might be tough for the Giants tomorrow. You know what this means, guys? You know what this means tomorrow. Don't be shocked if your lineup looks something like this in the outfield. Schmidt, left to right, Schmidt, Cox, and Barracoto. Don't recommend it. I recommend just playing Jung-Hoo Lee. He's hot. But don't be shocked if it's Barracoto in right, Cox in center, Schmidt in left, and then around the infield, you're probably looking at Chapman, Adames, Arraez. Would it shock you if Buddy Kennedy's in there tomorrow as the DH or first baseman and Eldridge is sitting? I don't know. Let's hope not. Let's not go with this whole righty lineup, but a lot of crazy things happen to a lineup when you lose. You just get desperate and try anything. Hey, we're going to welcome in. Now, this is somebody new. I recognize the name, and it's KC and the Sunshine Band. You guys remember? You ever heard of KC and the Sunshine Band, Casey?
Yeah, sure have. What's going on, Dan?
All right. Hey, good to see you, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Are you from Kansas City, or is your name KC?
No, I'm from San Francisco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is your first name Casey, or is that just initials?
I don't, it's like a weird name that was like given to me with YouTube. It was like a generated thing, and I just went with it.
Cool. All right. Well, glad you're here with us. This is the first time I've seen you on the air. So what's on your mind? What are you thinking? What do you think about this club?
Dude, you know what's sad is that I've been a fan for like 30 years, and these
Mm,
last, I'd say 7, 8 years, you're rooting for your team to lose, which
yeah,
just feels freaking weird,
it
you know,
does. It
because
does.
exactly like you said, man, it's like the way that this team's gonna make it is if they actually hit rock bottom and realize they need to build a sustainable winner.
Right. That's what I'm all about is a sustainable winner, not just, let's see if we can get into the playoffs one year and then the next year we're bad again. If you build it right and have all these young guys and you build around a Bryce Eldridge, 21-year-old,
Right.
imagine in 3 years, let's say in 3 years, you have Josar Gonzalez, Johnny Level, and
Hernandez.
Jesus Hernandez, all probably around 21, 22, and Eldridge is like 25. And
Yeah.
you got four guys under 25 that have a pedigree to be like all-stars.
Absolutely. I mean, and the thing is like, I think the big problem is we're seeing whether it was Bobby Evans, we're seeing whether it was Farhan Zaidi, now Buster Posey. It doesn't matter if it was, Melvin. There's been so much upheaval and turnaround. And I think it really is coming down to obviously the inability, rather, to not draft well and not develop. When you're relying on the fact of having to sign 28-year-olds, 30-year-olds like a Chapman and a Damas and a Devers to hope that they're going to be good, we know that's not the way that free agency works. I mean, free agency works in the sense that it's broken, and hopefully with this new CBA they fix it. But there are very few free agents that you sign, and they're going to be good for a sustainable period of time. Those are
Right.
good to augment, like what the Dodgers do. Like the Dodgers can augment that by getting a Freddie Freeman or an Otani, but they're also developing their own players.
Right, exactly. And Kelt says sometimes a miracle just happens for some folks, and some folks need to hit rock bottom hard. Exactly, exactly. And George says no team has just youngsters that win. Exactly, George. But if you have these youngsters that come up in 3 years, is Casey Schmidt and Bryce
Right.
Eldridge, are they youngsters when Eldridge has 3 or 4 years behind him and Casey's in his seventh, eighth year? Is that, I mean, in Casey's 30 and he's your old established veteran, and you look at those teams of the 70s, the Dodgers that were always there for the world. It was Say, Russell, Lopes, and Garvey. They grew up together in the system and they all came up and they were all in their 20s. And you look at how teams that win, the Houston Astros, when they were winning, it was Correa and Altuve and Springer and a few other guys. Yeah, they had vets mixed in there. The Giants, when they won their championships, the infield was all young. And then
Right.
Pence was, an add-on, and you had Scudero or Sanchez or, the
Cody
guys,
Ross, Pat
Cody
Burrell,
Ross. Yeah.
yeah,
But
all
you
those
added,
guys.
yeah. But your base has to be young. You can't
100%.
have your base. The Giants' base is Adames, Devers, and Chapman. And
Right.
Chapman's 33. Adames, I believe, 30, 29, 30, and
And
Devers
Devers is
is,
42.
who knows how old Devers
That's
is?
just
We don't
kidding.
really know. Yes. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out of the Dominican that's really weird. And
Yeah.
we just don't know. But I'll say this, his quality of at bats, the balls that he misses straight down the middle on a regular basis, that doesn't look like a 29-year-old that's just got his timing off. To me, it looks like he's slower.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't help no matter what, whether he's actually even his real age. You got 8 more years of him, and we know that that's not going to age well, right?
Right. That's
And
not going to age well at
it
all.
kind of, reminds me so much of like the Pablo Sandoval deal. And I always have said to my friends, I was like, this seems like payback from the Pablo Sandoval
Yeah,
situation
Boston.
when
Yeah.
when he went to the Sox.
Send him back to Boston. See if they'll take him back.
Yeah,
Send us.
he'll play first now. We'll send him with his first place glove.
Look, we'll pay for his contract. Just give us Roman Anthony. You know, I don't know, man. It's hard to watch. It really is, KC, because I love watching Eldridge at bats. I enjoy Casey's at bats. I enjoy Arraez, when he comes up to the plate, and Jung-Hoo Lee. But that's really about it. Those four guys is about the only ones, and you pull for guys like Susak that are young and but they don't have. I mean, you watch the ball hit here, even when somebody gets a hold of it, it's generally a long out. It's frustrating. You watch guys that come into our park and they just bang hits. They don't rely on the long ball. The Nationals, no long balls tonight, right?
Right.
And yet they put up 6 runs. Why? Because Giants bullpen is wild. They can't find the plate. Nationals are taking pitches, getting on
And
base,
speed.
timely. Yeah, speed.
Going first to
timely hitting.
third,
Yeah,
stealing bases.
exactly. We don't play that kind of ball.
It's banned.
Yeah.
Our team leader is like, 3 stolen bases. I think Patrick Bailey is still in the top of the stolen bases, which is absolutely
let me
insane.
let me look at the stolen base. I'm curious. I think Schmidt might have 5. Let me just take a peek at the Giants stat leaders here. Okay, here we go. Stolen bases, 2 tied with 5. It's Casey Schmidt has 5, and come on, open up. There it is, and Arraez.
Okay.
And Bailey's third with 2.
That's insane.
He's got a Cleveland Guardians hat on. They got a picture of him on the Giants website with him as the third guy.
Bailey's your catcher, plus he never even get on base, so it's like, how
Right.
does he have and how is 2 even in contention?
Yeah, that's horrible. They have a total of 10, 14, 15, 16, 18 stolen bases. Oliva, Cox, Rodriguez, who's down back on the farm, and Oliva's on the DL, and Adames all have 1, and then Lee and Bailey have 2. Chapman has none. Gilbert has none. Ramos doesn't have one. He's been out a while, but Ramos has none. Devers, Eldridge, nothing. I mean, this is just what's crazy? They have 18 stolen bases. Let me look at Josh Naylor. You know who Josh Naylor is with Seattle, right?
Yeah, of course.
He has 12 the last I checked a few days ago. Josh Naylor, this is crazy. He is like one of the slower base runners in all of baseball. Right now, he still has 12 stolen bases. 2/3 of the Giants stolen base. 1 slow guy. That just tells you how bad a type of baseball this team is playing.
100%. I mean, even like Juan Soto last year with the Mets had a ton of
30.
steals, and he's not a fast guy. So much of it has to also come down to like the coaching. Like obviously we had Borg at third and he was horrendous. Like who is the first base coach and why isn't he down there with a stopwatch? Why isn't he down there telling players like, hey, take a bigger lead? It's just all the fundamentals from this team from top to bottom are just not there. And doing the little things, and the little things eventually add up. And like you said, how is it that our leading base stealer has 5 fucking bags? Excuse me.
I don't get it. I mean 5 bags. I mean,
it's absurd.
I got 2 new hips and a bad back. I think I could get 1.
I think you could.
I mean, you just that would be crazy. You pick the right pitch, maybe get one that you're taking off and it goes in the dirt or something. That'd be mine. I needed to get it away from the catcher to make it. But this is just a bad all around team. And I kind of reminds me a little bit of the 96 team. They lost 94 games. Was it 96? Now you look at the players on the 96 team and you think to yourself, who had the better players? Let me just pull up their roster. All right, here's the roster. The Giants lost 90. What was their record? I think it was 94 losses. I'm trying to find it, but you listen to the players here. They're on pitching. They had Rod Beck in the bullpen.
Shooter.
They had Sean Estes. Osvaldo Fernandez was a decent pitcher for them. Mark Gardner, Mark Leiter, Kirk Reeder, William Van Landingham. Yeah, their pitching wasn't that great. Catchers was not great either. They had Steve Decker, and then they had Kurt Manwaring, Doug Mirabelli. But their infield was and outfield was decent. Their infielders, they had Rich Aurelia, they had Sean Dunston, Bill Miller,
Snell, maybe
Robbie Thompson, Matt Williams, and their outfield was Marvin Bernard, Barry Bonds, Jacob Cruz, Glenn Allen Hill, Stan Javier was there for a while. So they had some decent guys, pretty similar to this team, but they lost 94 games.
Yeah.
But they had a true superstar in Barry Bonds, and they also had Matt Williams, who was a star. And it just happens. Sometimes teams are just have bad years, and they so I think this team is kind of in a similar boat.
But isn't that like right when, speaking of Matt Williams at third, isn't that when Sabian comes in and trades Matt Williams
in that offseason, that December?
For Jeff Kent, Omar Vizquel and Julian Tavares. They had to do something huge and big to shake it up as it wasn't working. And that's like kind of the question. It's like, this isn't working. What's the big thing that you do to shake this team up? Because like you said, repeating the status quo, this is the definition of insanity. And people who say they aren't fans of the rebuild, I don't understand. Oh, well, fans aren't going to come to the game. Well, it's like, hey, in the last 10 years, we've had one winning season. So it's like, I don't understand how people can be against a rebuild when what we have currently isn't great. It's not working.
It's not working. Yeah.
It's not exciting and it's not working. And you're paying for a bunch of overpriced players.
If your boss told you, hey, look, we need to do something different. We haven't made a profit in the last 10 years. I need you to try something different. And you do the same thing. It's like, well, let's just make this little change and see if it works. No, you're going to need like a whole new set of type of ideas or, new people in new positions to hopefully make a profit, come up with better product to sell. Right now, the Giants don't have a good product. They don't steal bases. This is a different game today. It's a game of speed. I mean, my goodness, they give it to you. They give you 2 pickoff attempts and they basically telling you, first movement, go. He's not coming back. He's not going to throw over.
Right. I mean, it's sad to think that I was saying 500's aspirational now. We were so 500 and now, they're going back to the 2017, 2018 days. And I think it's exactly what you just said. It's like this team has no identity. Like, what is it even good at? It's not great at pitching, whether that be the starting rotation or obviously the bullpen. It's not good at speed. It's not good at defense. They don't outslug you. They don't do anything really better than their opponent, which is why they're one of the worst teams in baseball. Like, that's not coincidental.
Yeah.
So it's pick a direction, but it's also pick a damn identity.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And George Curry says the team just has no pitching. Correct. It's really poor. The bullpen may be the worst in baseball. I believe that it is. We need to rebuild the pitching staff for sure. If we trade Devers, Chapman, Adames, who's playing shortstop? That's the least of my worries. That's the least of my worries. Who's playing shortstop? I'll find a shortstop that, look, the Giants had the baseball's leading hitter in camp just a few years ago in Otto Lopez. And I was watching him in spring training before the game started. And I'm watching him, work out. I'm going, this dude's talented. Right. And I'm like, I didn't even know who he was. I go, who is that guy? He looks athletic. We haven't seen that in years here. And then I'm watching him hit and I'm watching him run. And I go, Let's get this guy. And then they cut him and they go with Tyler Fitzgerald. It's like a constant. They don't recognize athleticism and talent because he was hitting. Fitzgerald was striking out all the time, but he was hitting the long ball at times, and you saw his speed. But imagine you can go find a shortstop. Believe me, you can make minor deals. There's all kinds of shortstops that are out there that you can just pick up on the cheap. If you just, you don't have to go get the top shortstop out there. I mean, there's guys all over the field. You got guys like Perdomo and Pena with Houston. Pena's still young. There's guys out there like that. I'm just trying to think of some other guys that could play shortstop, but they're out there. Believe me.
I think the real question is like, it doesn't really matter who plays short in the sense that the team is literally one of the worst in baseball. They're right up there. Like, I think the only team worse is like the Angels, right? So if the game plan is to be competitive in 2 to 3 years, who plays shortstop for the remaining months of this year or this season doesn't matter, even 2027.
No,
it's really
it
about building for a future and clearing that payroll. It's about getting Adamas's 30 some odd million, which he's about to get paid starting next year, because he is actually, I think, getting paid 13 million for the first 2 years of that contract. And then the next 6 years of it start to get horrendous.
Correct.
So it's like, if you can move off of him, it doesn't really matter who plays shortstop. It's about clearing up that roster. And it's about having, when a Joshua Gonzalez and a Level and these other guys, that they have a room to play in the field.
Excellent
I think that's
point.
what it is for me.
That's it. That's what a rebuild does. It makes room for these guys to learn to just let them develop. The St. Louis Cardinals did a full rebuild, and they have won 5 games in a row, and they are sitting at I think they're like 35. Let me pull it up here. I was just looking at the standings here earlier tonight, and I think they are 35-28. St. Louis is 36-28. They've won 5 in a row. I don't think they make the playoffs because I don't think they'll be there at the end, but the fact is they're young and the guys are developing at the major league level.
Right.
Jordan Walker looked like a bust. He's one of the better players in baseball this year. And that's what happens.
They also have a payroll of like sub $100 million now, which puts them in, Tarek Skubal come as a free agent next year. It's like he could be a Cardinal. And then how much better does that team look?
Exactly.
You could get Freddie Peralta next year. You could get a bunch of players for the Cardinals. And all of a sudden that rebuild is, accelerated. And it's like, maybe it's a 1 to 2 year rebuild, where the Giants, they're floundering and going back and forth. They're going really nowhere. I mean, now we're having a regression.
When you don't pick a direction, this is exactly what happens. And this is why I said, when I come up with the phrase pick a lane, it's like either spend the 300+ million to try and compete with the big guys. If you're going to go all in, if that's what you're trying to do now is win, then really go all in. They didn't do that. They didn't add to the bullpen. They went cheap on Molly and Hauser trying to, but they're not doing the other either in rebuilding. So they're stuck in this middle and it just perpetuates itself, and it's just going to continue to get worse because, if you tell me that, okay, we're going to have Chapman and Adames and Devers in 2028 and 2029, you think they're going to be better than they are now?
No.
Exactly. So if you're not winning now with these guys and you're 14 under with them, what are you going to be with them in 3 years?
Yeah, 100%. It's a great point. I mean, it's what I think of is like the analogy is like you go out and you get Devers, you get Adames, you get Chapman. It's like the equivalent of buying a $15-20 million house and then put linoleum flooring in throughout. Like, why do you get Malley? Why do you get Hauser? Why do you spend no money on the bullpen? the whole horrendous thing where, I like Posey, but that comment of like, what did you want me to do? Sign Edwin Diaz? It's like,
Yeah.
there were tons of other players. You could have gotten Suarez would have been nice. Kenley
Suarez.
Jansen would have been nice. Taylor would have been nice. There were a ton actually of great free agent, bullpen pieces
Yeah, there
that
was.
all of a sudden, you win 5, 6 more games go your way. We're having a way different conversation. And we're talking about like, what do the Giants need to add to be there in August and September?
Yeah. And I hope they go, I hope, Flores there at 4 for them, and they don't go a high school kid. Just because they need it. They're going to need an ace pitcher. And he looks like a guy that could be a top of the rotation guy for several years. And I think that would make a lot of sense, unless the kid, I doubt it, but the kid Grady Emerson from Texas out of high school falls to 4. You'd have to seriously consider him, because he looks like a star hitter for many, many years. And these guys are coming up. They're so advanced now.
Right.
These guys are coming up and they're ready to play in the big leagues at 20,
Right.
So these top guys are. But hey, man, we're going to get out of here. I'm glad you came in.
Yeah.
You got good knowledge. You know the game, and you speak well. I love it, man. Anytime you want to pop in on the show, let us know, man. We always, sometimes Dallas is not available, and I could use another co-host. So
That's good.
Appreciate you jumping in. Send me your contact info to NorCal Sports Network at Gmail. It's just let me see if I got it here. Where is it?
Yeah, I think I got it. I'll shoot it over to you.
Yeah. That way I can get a hold of you, send you a link if I know we're gonna be short, guy, like tonight. I just found out, like 20 minutes before we came on, Dallas got called away for work. I'm trying to find my, I know it's just fully NorCal Sports Network, all spelled out.
Cool.
There it is. Yeah. NorCal Sports Network at gmail.com. Yeah.
Perfect.
So shoot me an email, KC, and we will see you guys probably tomorrow afternoon about 3:30, somewhere in that time frame, 3:30 to 4. Probably looking at sweeping your porch early in the morning. It looks like a sweep.
Yeah.
I mean, this could be the type of game the Giants get. They're going to get, but they lost another series. It's
Right.
series after series. They just keep losing, and they're, instead of making up ground, they're losing ground. So, but let me get the music on here. All right, guys. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. It does help the algorithm of the show. Appreciate you doing that. Just like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. You know what we didn't do tonight? I forgot. Let's hear from Jack while we're playing the music. He's always he's always a blast to listen to. We'll close the show with Jack here. Giants hot takes. Let's here we go. This should be.
I love this kid's energy, man.
Yeah, it's right. Great. It's great. Yeah, he's been on the show before too. It's let's see if we got. Here we go.
Oh, Chapman. I'll tell you one thing, man. You guys, my future employer, my parents, can all thank Bryce Eldridge tonight, because I was ready to go on a pretty gross rant like last night. I don't like being that negative. And Bryce Eldridge leaves the yard. I mean, anytime that guy is playing, he gets 2 hits tonight, including a home run, including 2 walks. He's on base 4 out of 5 times. The Giants really did it there. They produced what looks to be, I don't want to speak too early. I think we're just under 100 at-bats in. Maybe we're over 100 at-bats in. It looks like a generational, like their best player right now. He's the future of the franchise, and the farm system actually produced a good bat, and they're going to have to produce some more good bats, and they have prospects with a higher pedigree of Eldridge coming up soon. But focus on Bryce. It's the only thing keeping me sane. it's quite frankly the only thing keeping me tuning in every night, because the rest of it is a fucking train wreck. Start of the season.
Not lying.
What's the 3 biggest concerns about the Giants? It is number 1, your starting pitching staff after Logan Webb. They go out and sign Adrian Hauser, who pitches great for Hauser's standards a day, goes 4.1 innings, 3 earned runs, only gives up 1 home run. Anytime you pitch him, you make the decision to lose. You got number 2, just a train wreck of a bullpen. There's not one reliable arm back there. And that's even being generous. They're all pretty bad. They're fine middle relievers, should never be throwing high leverage. Then number 3 is situational runners in scoring position, which they could be good at, but they're hitting Willie Adames 4, they're hitting Rafael Devers 2. Bryce Eldridge and Jung-Hoo Lee are their 2 best hitters, and it's not even close. I guess Arraez is in that as well, but those guys need to be hitting probably 2 and 4 tomorrow. I'd probably lead off Schmidt or Lee. Those guys belong 1 and 2. Keep Arraez in the 3 hole, hit Eldridge 4. It won't matter because the bullpen will blow it at the end of the day, but focus on the positives. Bryce Eldridge, generational bat. Only reason I'm tuning in, and it's the reason I'll tune in tomorrow. So we'll see you then.
All right.
That was the calmest take I've ever seen from him.
Yeah, I think he's probably worn out. He's probably just emotionally.
He's like our bullpen. He's just worn out.
Yeah. But always enjoy listening to Jack. And if you haven't subscribed to him on Twitter, go give him a subscribe. Giants Hot Takes. He puts out a lot of tweets out, and he knows his baseball. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. KC, if you're available, I might. I don't know if you're available in the afternoon or not.
Yeah.
I don't know if Dallas will be available. He's out of town. He had to run out of town. So shoot me your stuff over on email me, and I'll catch up with you. All right, guys.
Good talking with you tonight.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, KC. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Have a good night.
All right.